dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in our standard 7th geography, we are starting with the topic human settlements. You people have already learned about human settlements in 5th standards EVS, and in that we people learned about settlements in reference with the history. And now in this chapter we are going to talk about human settlements in reference with the geography, or the factors which are important in the human settlements geographically. Now, as this one is the last chapter of our geography, we have started our geography with the first chapter, how seasons occur, part 1. Then the second one, the sun, the moon and the earth. Third one, tides. Then fourth one, air pressure. And the fifth one, winds. Then sixth chapter, natural reasons. Then soils. Then again, how seasons occur, part 2. Eighth chapter. Ninth chapter was agriculture, and now we are talking about human settlements. One more chapter is there, but which is in practical geography, that is contour maps and landforms. Now in this chapter we have to talk about the human settlements and the factors which are important in human settlements, or anyone who while settling thinks about the points like availability of water, availability of transportation, or availability of natural resources which are important in our daily life. So about all these things we are going to study in this topic, human settlements. Now in our textbook, figure 10.1, which is on the screen, show settlements at suitable locations. What you people have to do, look at the following picture, find suitable locations for human settlements and show them in the picture. So in this picture, what you have to do, you have to observe this picture, you have to look at this picture, and you have to find out the suitable locations for human settlements. अगर आपको कहा गया कि इस पिक्चर में ऐसी एक जगह ढूंढो कि आप जहाँ पर सेटल हो सकते हैं, आप अपनी फैमिली के साथ लंबे समय के लिए जहाँ पर रह सकते हैं, ऐसी जगह ढूंढो. Why were the settlements shown at the specific places, and why should they be located there, and why can't they be located in other places? About all these things you have to discuss. Now the next one on the screen, figure 10.2a. What you have to do with these figures, figure 10.2a, then next one figure 10.2b, and then figure 10.2c, and then figure 10.2d will be there on the screen. But what you have to do, observe the pictures given in figures 10.2 a, b, c, d, and think and answer the following questions. So the figures first, figure 10.2a, here figure 10.2b, here figure 10.2c, here figure 10.2d. And now the questions, what all can you see in the pictures? What all you can see in the pictures? जैसे आप फिगर 10.2a में क्या देख रहे हैं, b में क्या देख रहे हैं, c में क्या देख रहे हैं, और d में क्या देख पा रहे हैं? What are the familiar features of all these pictures? Then which picture out of a, b, c, d, which picture shows agriculture? Then next one, which picture shows dense settlements? Which picture shows high-rise buildings? And from the following, assign a suitable names to each of the pictures: rural settlement, tribal, hamlet, town, or city. And the last one, arrange the pictures according to the level of development in the settlements. Now here, if we go for 10.a, there you can see it's kind of rural settlement. Then this one 10.2b, which is kind of town or city settlement. Then figure 10.c, which is kind of tribal hamlet, and 10.d again town, where you can see a road and auto and sailors. selling different things. So human settlements flourished at places with favorable geographic conditions. For example, like availability of water, conducive climate, fertile land, etc. ये सारी चीज़ें जहाँ पर रहेगी वहीं पर लोग सेटल हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि खेती करेंगे तो कुछ ग्रेन्स मिलेंगे खाने के लिए, या फिर जॉब अवेलेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, और जो ज़रूरी चीज़ें हैं जैसे वाटर, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इन आवर डेली लाइफ, उसके बिना हम रह नहीं सकते। और हम जहाँ रह रहे हैं वहाँ से अगर 5-10 किलोमीटर हमें पानी लाने के लिए जाना पड़ रहा है तो वो जगह सेटल होने के लिए अच्छी नहीं है, यही हम समझ लेते हैं। सो इन द अर्ली सेटलमेंट्स देयर occupations of the people were dependent on the locally available natural resources like hunting and fishing, and this gave rise to separate settlements of people engaged in particular occupations. If we talk about example, then people along the sea coast are engaged in fishing. Their settlements became fishing hamlets like Koliwada. On the screen you can see human settlements flourished at places with favorable geographic conditions such as availability of water, conducive climate, fertile land, etc. And here you can see rural settlement and urban settlement. Now here on the screen you can see in the early settlements the occupations of the people were dependent on the locally available natural resources. Again I'll repeat the same thing in 5th standard CVS part 2. You people learned this in detail that how human settlements flourished और उसकी जो जर्नी थी वो किस तरह से हुई और कैसे एक एक करके बड़ी बड़ी सेटलमेंट्स जो है वो हो गई. People along the sea coast are engaged in fishing, which is very natural. Their settlements became fishing hamlets called कोलीवाड़ा. अभी भी मुंबई में अगर हम देखेंगे जहाँ पर हम रह रहे साइन कोलीवाड़ा या और कई जगह हैं जहाँ पर कोलीवाड़ा हमें देखने को मिलता है, बिकॉज समुंदर होने की वजह से बहुत पहले से लोग यहाँ पर फिशिंग में एंगेज थे. फिशिंग उनका मेन ऑक्यूपेशन था. बाद में इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया बना, बहुत सारी टर्शरी क्वाटरनरी सर्विसेज यहाँ पर आ गई, तो हम जैसे लोग जो है काम के सिलसिले में यहाँ पर आ गए. बट बेसिकली यहाँ के लोग जो है मुंबई के रहने वाले वो फिशिंग में एंगेज थे. द नेक्स्ट वन, forest dwellers or tribal people use forest produce for their livelihood. They live in forest areas in tribal hamlets called आदिवासी पाड़ास. अगर हम मुंबई के थोड़े दूर जाएंगे आसपास तो हमें ये आदिवासी पाड़ास देखने को मिलते हैं, जैसे करजत है, कसारा है. इन जगहों पे अगर हम जाएंगे तो अंदर अंदर बहुत सारे आदिवासी पाड़ास है जो डिपेंडेंट है उनकी लाइफस्टाइल ऑन द फॉरेस्ट products. Then agriculture is practiced in fertile areas. Farmer families build their houses in or near their fields. These settlements gradually grow bigger. Settlements where the original occupations of the majority of the people are based on natural resources are called rural settlements. Here we are trying to understand the concept of rural settlements. The settlements where the original occupations, for example fishing, for example living dependent on the natural or forest resources or agriculture. So the settlements where the original occupations of the majority of the people are based on natural resources are called rural settlements. And the examples agriculture, fishery, etc. are some of these occupations. With the passage of time, other associated occupations also develop gradually in these rural settlement. Now in 6th standards geography you people already learnt about the human occupations, and that's why you people know that how human occupations are classified into primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary occupations, and that is why it is very easy for you to understand about the occupations. As a result, people from surrounding areas migrate and settle there, leading to an increase in the rural population. Again I am repeating, With the passage of time, other associated occupations also developed gradually in these rural settlements. And because of this, people from surrounding areas migrate. फार्मिंग के साथ, फिशिंग के साथ और कई ऑक्यूपेशंस बढ़ते गए और उसकी वजह से आजू बाजू के जो लोग हैं वो भी वहाँ पर क्या होने लगे, माइग्रेट होने लगे. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस there is an increase in the rural population. Houses are built and different facilities are developed, like electricity, availability of water, availability of houses, and also the availability of different jobs or occupations. Importance of secondary and tertiary occupations increases, about which you people learned in 6th standards geography. Then occupations increases, the proportion of people engaged in primary occupations declines. जैसे प्राइमरी ऑक्यूपेशन में एंगेज थे लोग वो कम होते गए एंड सेकेंडरी एंड टर्सरी में बढ़ते गए. दिस प्रोसेस लीड्स टू द ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ रूरल सेटलमेंट इनटू urban settlement. So urban settlement is the settlement where people are engaged in secondary and tertiary occupations, or large number of people are engaged in secondary and tertiary occupations, whereas in rural settlement people are engaged in primary occupations. जैसे खेती है, फिशिंग है, या फिर डायरेक्टली नेचर पे डिपेंडेंट जो भी occupations है वो. Next one, due to religious, historical, commercial, educational and administrative reasons, and also due to tourism, the original settlement may transform into an urban one, because in the urban settlement people from different religions were there, people from different castes were there, people from different parts of the country were there. ये अलग अलग लोग होते थे और आज भी है, और इन सब की मिलके एक कल्चर बनी which may transform into an urban one. If the population and the necessary amenities increase on a large scale, the urban areas grow into metropolitan cities, and the best example of this is in the city in which we are living, Mumbai, which is a metropolitan city where people are engaged in secondary, tertiary and quaternary occupations on large scale, या फिर totally भी हम उसे कह सकते हैं. Next one on the screen you can see, if the population and the necessary amenities increases on लार्ज स्केल, दोनों चीज़ें बढ़ रही है. देखो पॉपुलेशन भी बढ़ रहा है एंड नेसेसरी एमिनिटी जो चाहिए वो भी बढ़ रही है. इफ़ इट इज़ ऑन लार्ज स्केल, द अर्बन एरियाज ग्रो इनटू मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज़ लाइक न्यू दिल्ली, जयपुर, मुंबई, हैदराबाद, नागपुर, कोलकाता. ये तो सिर्फ एग्जाम्पल के लिए है, लेकिन बहुत सारी ऐसी सिटीज़ है हमारे देश में वेर पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है और एमिनिटीज़ भी बहुत ही ज़्यादा है. One more figure, 10.3, a type of settlement where A, then B and C you can see. So what you have to do, observe figure 10.3 and discuss the following questions. So questions are there. What is the difference between the human settlement A and B? This one is human settlement A and this one is human settlement B. Now what difference you can see in the structure. जो घर दिख रहा है वो स्ट्रक्चर जो है, नेचर जो है उनका, वो एक बेसिक डिफरेंस हमें दिख रहा है. देन व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द सेटलमेंट्स एट बी एंड सी. फिर बी और ये सी में क्या डिफरेंस है. देन वेयर डू यू फाइंड लेस देन 2 हाउसेस, 2 से कम हाउस कहाँ पर दिख रहे, वेदर इट इज इन ए, बी और इन सी. एंड द लास्ट वन, इन व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सेटलमेंट डू यू लिव. अब इसमें से आप कौन सी सेटलमेंट में रहते हैं, इन ए और इन बी और इन सी. So you have to answer these questions. Again on the screen you can see settlements have provided man with stability. Rural settlement is the first step towards a stable life in human history. First thing which we get from the settlement, that is stability मिल रही है हमें, एक जगह पे stable रह सकते हैं. Rural settlement is the first step towards a stable life in human history. Urban settlements have evolved through the expansion and growth of rural settlements. So base जो है वो rural settlements का ही है, but धीरे धीरे वो जैसे बढ़ती गई उससे फिर urban settlement आई. Urban settlements have evolved through the expansion of the population due to the expansion in the field of occupations or availability of different occupations. The next one, a certain way of life is preserved in rural settlements. But if you talk about urban settlements, then increase in the population of rural settlements is the beginning of urbanization. So population is the main thing which play very important role in transforming rural settlement to urban settlement. There are large scale economic correlations between rural and urban settlements because both are directly or indirectly dependent on each other, or urban settlements are totally dependent on the rural settlements for their basic needs of food. The day-to-day food requirement of the urban population is fulfilled by rural settlements. जैसे अगर हम सुबह सुबह देखेंगे तो मुंबई में कई जगहों से बाहर से वेजिटेबल्स आते हैं, कई जगहों से मिल्क आता है, तो ये सारे प्रोडक्ट जो है एग्री प्रोडक्ट्स वो रूरल सेटलमेंट जो है वही प्रोवाइड करते हैं. मॉडर्नाइजेशन, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी lead to transformation in both types of settlements. Modernization, science and technology, because of all these things, transformation हुआ in both the settlements, in urban and in rural settlements. Now on the screen we are going to study about different types of settlements, and in that the first one is scattered settlement. Types of settlements and the characteristics of their distribution on the screen, and in that the first one, scattered settlement. Now it is in the name, scattered, which is not planned. In scattered settlements houses are few. एक तो कैसे है, घर कम है. In scattered settlements houses are few and far from each other. कम है और एक दूसरे से दूर है. Generally, such settlements are found in the areas of high relief, dense forests, grasslands, hot deserts, and extensive agricultural lands. On the screen you can see figure 10.5, which is in our textbook. Scattered settlement, few houses, only 4 दिख रहे, and far from each other. एक दूसरे से देखो कितने दूर है. Here you can see in this figure. और ये कहाँ कहाँ पाए जाते हैं? In the areas of high relief, dense forests, grasslands, hot deserts, and extensive agricultural lands. Now we are going to talk about the characteristics of scattered settlements. Distance between scattered settlements can be clearly seen, क्योंकि वो इतने दूर दूर होते हैं कि हम easily देख सकते हैं distance. These settlements have limited populations, as in small hamlets like Pada or Wadi, and it is obvious to understand because the houses are few, so the population is also limited. Facilities and services in these settlements are not adequate, as these settlements are closer to nature. They are free from pollution. Advantage of this, they depend on the centrally located villages for their day-to-day requirements. For this we'll go for the figure. इतने कम घर है देखो यहाँ पर, और उन्हें अगर कुछ चाहिए मार्केट से तो नज़दीक जो गांव है जहाँ पर किराना दुकान है, किराना सामान लाना है और कोई चीज़ें लानी है, तो उनको यहाँ से उस गांव में जाना पड़ता है. Next one now, nucleated settlements. These settlements are generally close to water sources like brooks, rivulets, rivers, lakes, and reservoirs, etc. In the deserts of Rajasthan, we find nucleated settlements near assured source of water because there is scarcity of water resources और पानी के नज़दीक होना बहुत ज़रूरी है क्योंकि पानी उतना ज़्यादा वहाँ पे है नहीं. Fertile plains, transport hubs and mining centers, commercial centers often lead to the development of this type of settlement. And besides these reasons, defense, health, education and other social and religious factors can also give rise to nucleated settlements. On the screen you can see figure 10.6 in which you can see nucleated settlement. And now the characteristics of nucleated settlements. In these settlements, houses are close together. On the screen now you can see nucleated or compact settlement. Defense, health, education and other social and religious factors can also give rise to nucleated settlements. क्योंकि डिफेंस के लोग एक जगह पे होते हैं, हेल्थ के लोग अगर एक जगह पे हो रहे तो उनको रहने के लिए वो अपने अपने घर वहाँ पर बनाते हैं. The characteristics, first one, in these settlements houses are close together, not like scattered settlement which are few and far from each other. यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं है, एक दूसरे से नज़दीक है. Social services are available in these settlements. As these settlements develop in certain places over certain periods of time, they attain particular shapes. उनका अपना एक shape होता है जो हमने figure में देखा है. Roads are narrow in the old parts of the settlements. People from different castes, religions, races and ideologies live together in these settlements and hence they have a better social life because people from different parts we can say are there. So there is a mixed culture in the nucleated settlement. Next one, linear settlements, as it is in the name linear, जो एक लाइन में हमें दिख रहा है, देखो यहाँ पर linear settlement. Linear settlements are seen along roads, railways, rivers, sea coast and in foothill regions, etc. Now this is very easy for us to understand because जब हम मुंबई में लोकल से ट्रैवल करते हैं तो बहुत सारी जगहों पे हमें पैरेलल टू द रेलवे ट्रैक से पैरेलल बहुत सारे सेटलमेंट्स दिखते हैं. डेट इज व्हाट इज द लीनियर सेटलमेंट. दिस टाइप ऑफ सेटलमेंट्स आर नैरो इन शेप एंड दे स्प्रेड अलोंग अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में वो होते हैं. नाउ इफ वी गो फॉर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ this, houses in these settlements are along a single line. There is a single line. As the settlement grows in the course of time, multiple lines emerge. Roads are parallel to each other. Besides houses, some shops can be seen too. Shop भी होते हैं to fulfill the needs. These settlements grow along with the roads. For example, such settlements are found along the coastal tracts, major rivers and national or state highways in our country. So this was all about the different types of settlements in which we learned about scattered settlement, nucleated settlement and linear settlement. Now how to रिमाइंड दिस या फिर इन सब चीज़ों को याद कैसे रखना है, इट इज़ वेरी इजी. इनके जो डायग्राम्स है उनको अगर आप समझोगे, वो डायग्राम्स करके देखोगे तो न्यूक्लिएटेड सेटलमेंट क्या है, लीनियर सेटलमेंट क्या है एंड व्हाट इज स्कैटर्ड सेटलमेंट, ये समझना बहुत इजी है. नेक्स्ट थिंग, and which is very important now. In one figure, we're having nucleated settlement, linear settlement, and dispersed settlement और scattered settlement. ये एक फिगर भी आप अच्छी तरह से याद रखोगे तो भी आपको तीनों सेटलमेंट क्या है वो समझ में आएगा. न्यूक्लिएटेड क्या है, स्कैटर्ड क्या है, एंड व्हाट इज लीनियर सेटलमेंट. एंड ऑल्सो by observing the figure you can go for the characteristics of these settlements. Next one on the screen, factors influencing the location of human settlements. Very important things: physical things, then cultural, and then economic. अगर हमें किसी एक जगह पे सेटल होना है, या फिर हम हमारे मम्मी पापा के साथ जहाँ पर रह रहे हैं, या फिर जब हम घर भी बदलते हैं, तो हम क्या देखते हैं कि स्कूल नज़दीक होना चाहिए, हॉस्पिटल नज़दीक होना चाहिए, मार्केट नज़दीक होना चाहिए, और अगर जॉब कर रहा है घर में कोई तो उनका भी जाने आने के लिए भी नज़दीक होना चाहिए. ये सारी चीज़ें हम देखते हैं. हियर ऑल्सो we are going to talk about factors influencing the location of human settlements, and which are divided into physical, cultural, and economic. So one by one: physical, physiography, then land and soils, if it is fertile or not, then climate, whether it is easy to live there or comfortable. अगर बहुत ज़्यादा बारिश है तो हम वहाँ नहीं रह सकते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी है तो हम वहाँ पर नहीं रह सकते, बहुत ज़्यादा ठंडी है तो हम वहाँ पर नहीं रह सकते. एक रहने के लिए एक अच्छा क्लाइमेट हो, ये हम देखते हैं. देन वाटर सप्लाई, विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड रिवर बैंक्स. ऑल दीज आर इन द physical factors. Now cultural: defense, health, education, tourism, and historical significance. All these are the things which we consider while settling down somewhere. And about economic: irrigation, occupations, transport, and communication, which is very important again. जहाँ पर हम रह रहे हैं आजकल तो हम ये भी देखते हैं कि मोबाइल की रेंज है कि नहीं, यहाँ पर जहाँ पर हम रह रहे हैं वहाँ पर हमारे फ़ोन को रेंज है या नहीं, या फिर अगर हम गांव छोड़ के कहीं और रह रहे तो वहाँ से हमारे गांव आने जाने के लिए कितना नज़दीक है, या फिर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन क्या है, ये सारी चीज़ें भी हम देखते हैं. देन इंडस्ट्रीज, ट्रेड, एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसेस. ऑल दीज आर द थिंग्स और द फैक्टर्स विच इन्फ्लुएंस द लोकेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन settlement. So in today's topic we people discussed about human settlements, and also discussed about figure 10.1, which shows settlements at suitable locations. Then figure 10.2 A, B, C, and D in that figure. Then figure 10.3 of a type of settlement. Then figure 10.5 of scattered settlement. Figure 10.6 of nucleated settlement. Figure 10.7 of linear settlement. And now we are going to stop here only.
Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear ones, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.